LA Mayor Karen Bass is under fire after the LA Times reported she was behind the watering down of the Palisades Fire Action Report.
The LA Times reports that Mayor Bass was allegedly concerned about legal liabilities. KTLA 5's Annie Rose Ramos live in downtown at City Hall with the details. Annie Rose, good morning.
Megan, Chris, good morning to you both. The LA Times citing anonymous sources claiming Mayor Karen Bass directed the watering down of that after-action report about the Palisades fire. These are claims that Mayor Karen Bass now vehemently denies, but even so this morning, Los Angeles is reacting to them.
The public isn't stupid. They know that mistakes have been made, but they can be forgiving if government is open and admits mistakes. And I would say that the mayor's biggest mistake is not admitting openly, honestly, with transparency that mistakes were made.
And an explosive new LA Times report citing two sources claiming Mayor Karen Bass told the interim fire chief, Ronnie Villanueva, that the report could expose the city to legal liabilities for failures during the Palisades fire and wanted key findings about the LAFD's actions removed or softened before the report was made public. And
so Mayor Karen Bass, who's the mayor of LA, she's in hot water right now. LA Times report came out and said they're allegedly saying she instructed changes to the after-action report about the devastating Palisades fire that happened last year in January. The reason why this is so bad is because that report, the original report, said some things in there that basically implicated, Karen Bass and what they were doing in not helping the Palisades fire. Some of that, the main one that I see on here is that there was language about the LAFD failure to fully staff and pre-deploy engines ahead of dangerous winds was rewritten to suggest the department exceeded standards. So basically what it shows here is that LA Mayor Karen Bass has been a part of taking that land from the Palisades victim. The reason why that fire went so crazy is because they didn't have enough of the staff there. They didn't pre-plan for this. And then as you know, there was no water as well. This sounds like a land grab more than anything. They intentionally did not help the Palisades fire. It's because they wanted that land. Okay? So they changed so many things in this report to make it seem like it was just another fire. This was a crazy fire, but it could have been prevented. And that's what the original report is about. But as we see, there's allegations that Mayor Karen Bass has saw the original and told them to make some changes. This is why we need new leadership. Karen Bass is not fit to run LA. There's the one thing I can say about this. The Palisades fire, I hate to say, I say this nicely, but I'm saying this to prove a point. The Palisades fire happened to the right type of people. The people that live in the Palisades are people of means, celebrity, right? So they're able to keep this thing going because of who they are. See, we don't talk about the Eden fire because the Eden fire is full of people that are, workers, right? So they just lost their house. But the Palisades fire is full of people that have money. Spencer Pratt, he lost his house. So he talked about the Palisades fire every single day. And then now this report comes out right before Karen Bass' reelection. And I think this might be the end of Karen Bass. Because what this shows is that she failed the city. She failed to get these things deployed. She failed to make sure the LAFD had everything they needed. There's a reason why that the previous fire chief for LAFD got fired. It's because she told them exactly what happened. She said, we didn't have enough resources. We weren't told to go out there. We were told to hold off. She blew the whistle on Karen Bass, and that's the reason why she fired that fire chief. LA, we need new leadership. What this does is opens up the door for Rick Caruso, who has 2 days to decide if he wants to get back in the LA mayor race. And I believe he will. And I believe he will win by a landslide. Because the only person that Karen Bass is afraid of running for LA mayor, she's not afraid of Spencer Pratt. She's not afraid of Tish Hyman. She's not afraid of a lot of these people that are running. She's afraid of Rick Caruso because Rick Caruso will win. What we see from Karen Bass is that she's not fit to run. She has LAPD understaffed. She has LAFD understaffed, no resources. The things that are supposed to protect the people have no resources, because this is what the Democrats and liberals do. They need to underfund these things that protect us because they need the chaos and controversy to ask for more money. This is the reason why we have so much homelessness, and the money that she gives does nothing because she wants more money. That's just sad that we have a mayor in LA that will not help these people, but wants more money. But the reason why the people in the Palisades can't build is not because of money. It's because of the regulations and the permits that she won't help them get past easily to get their house built. It's because they don't want their house getting built. They want these people to struggle, sell their land so they could put affordable housing.
That is exactly what happened. It's a claim the current fire chief has addressed.
As many of you are aware, it is now clear that multiple drafts were edited to soften language and reduce explicit criticism of department leadership in that final report.
The after-action report was released publicly on October 8th by LA City's fire department. It was supposed to answer hard questions about how and why the Palisades fire exploded out of control on January 7th of last year. According to the LA Times, an initial draft of the report said the fire department's pre-deployment decisions, quote, did not align with policy. But the final version of that report said the number of companies pre-deployed, quote, went above and beyond the standard LAFD pre-deployment matrix. Now, the mayor responding to this LA Times report, releasing a statement saying in part, quote, there is absolutely no reason why she, the mayor, would request those details be altered or erased when she heard.
The real details would show that they were being negligent in that fire. That's the reason why this LA Times article is so explosive. It's because the real after action report shows that they didn't have enough staff. They weren't able to pre-plan, right? Usually when there are fires, as a former firefighter, I'm a firefighter, right? Former. When there's crazy winds, you always send out units to that area to make sure that nothing jumps up. So usually you'll send them to your driest areas to make sure that, okay, these winds are picking up. We're going to have some vehicles stationed here. Just in case something happens, we're already here. So a small fire can be stopped. But if that fire gets enough of that dry land, it will just run and spread. So that's why you have to pre-plan. So if you're telling us that the winds picked up and you guys didn't see anybody out there, that's the reason why the Palisades fire moved so quickly. It's because we didn't have units already there to put out those brush fires real quick. So as the brush is there and there's nobody there putting it out, what is it going to do? It's going to run. That's how I went into the Palisades. That's how the Eden fire got told. It's because there wasn't people there making sure they put out those small fires, adding moisture to the land, making sure that the fire, there's a lot of things to it. So if that previous after action review said that they didn't do that, that's on leadership. It's because you got to make sure that you have people in leadership that report to her, get the okay so they can go ahead and do it. Because at the end of the day, it costs what? Money.
Herself has been critical of the response to the fire. Full stop. This is muckraking journalism at its lowest form. It is dangerous and irresponsible for Los Angeles Times reporters to rely on third-hand, unsourced information to make unsubstantiated character attacks to advance a narrative that is false. Last week on Capitol Hill, the chief of the Redondo Beach Fire Department, Patrick Butler, testified, saying the Palisades fire was caused in part by a failure of leadership.
These failures extend beyond the fire department. During critical preparedness period, the mayor was out of the country despite knowledge of the forecasted life-threatening conditions. Responsibility for continuity of leadership and the citywide coordination rests with the mayor, and in this case, that responsibility was not met. The Palisades fire was not caused by weather alone. It was caused by leadership decisions.
Megan, Chris, want to go into a little bit more detail about who wrote that LAFD report that was released back in October, that after-action report. It was authored by Battalion Chief Kenneth Cook. And Cook declined to authorize or really give the final sign off of that final draft because he said it had been altered to a point that he called, quote, highly unprofessional.
Boom. The one thing I can say for firefighters, they're honest people, right? Honest people. And that guy who wrote the report, what they say, Battalion Chief Kenneth Moore, he wrote the report. It was so unrecognizable, he refused to sign his name on it. I told you right there what? It's been changed up. It's been switched up. The language has been changed. The facts was in it, but then what happened was they changed it so many times because they didn't want to be on the hook for these things, and they thought this was going to die out. Karen Bass is not going to get reelected. Rick Caruso is going to run. I believe that Rick Caruso will run. He has 2 days. Everybody in LA is praying for Rick Caruso to jump in the LA mayor race. I voted for him in the first mayoral race because he makes sense because of the type of person who he is, and he's a businessman. He understands the permitting process and all this. I guarantee if Rick Caruso runs, and he will win, he will make sure the Palisades gets built within the first year. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's always going to keep this thing rock, keep it going. I appreciate you guys' support. Make sure you join the Patreon. Link is in the description below. Make sure you check out the No Filter Morning Show Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I appreciate you guys. I'm out.